around 38,000 BC, or about 40,000 years ago, Enlil, the god, the main god on Earth, was getting really annoyed that these little humans, look at the size of these pesky little humans, were actually eating them out house and home, so to speak, because there were so many of these little humans now compared to the amount of Anunnaki there were. And Enlil was getting really frustrated, and the weather was changing then as well. It was starting to the climate was totally changing, and the seasons started to dry up, so the food was becoming really scarce. So Enlil thought, right, I know what, if all the Anunnaki go back to their home planet and leave these humans to basically destroy themselves, eat them themselves out of food. But there was another reason why Enlil actually wanted to go back to Nibiru, is because apparently they were aging a lot faster here on Earth than they were on their own planet. Okay, listen up, this is getting serious now for the Anunnaki. Their lifespans was getting a lot shorter because of the rotation of Earth around the Sun compared to their planet. Now, they did have this thing called Elixir, which would help them with longevity of life, but it wasn't grown on Earth. It wasn't a substance on Earth. So they had to keep bringing it from their own planet. And even though it did preserve life, it wasn't doing it 100%, so they were still aging a lot quicker. Now, the king of Nibiru, Anu, sent a message back to Enlil and said, no, you can't come back to Nibiru because you will pretty much die there and then because of your it will catch up with you. So you and all the other Anunnaki are now got to stay on Earth, which is very sad. All take a moment, please. I mentioned in the last video about Elixir, which is a substance that can be drank and you end up with eternal life, but it's not eternal, it's very long life. Now, this substance comes from the planet Nibiru. We don't actually have it here on Earth, and it was brought to Earth to help the Anunnaki with their aging problems. Now, Indiana Jones, as you know, mentioned it based on biblical events, which obviously then proves that someone was talking about it back then. Now, this potion could have also been poured into a fountain, because there's the story of Fountain of Youth, which I think is actually going to be about the new Indiana Jones movie, and I think they're going to actually have Indiana drink from the Fountain of Youth and then go back to being younger using deep fake technology, so we're going to see a young Indiana Jones and an older Indiana Jones in the same movie, which sounds pretty cool. You would have to wonder why we had skulls, Anunnaki skulls, alien skulls, on Earth buried. Why didn't they take them back, or why didn't they leave before they died? Well, if you watch the last couple of videos, you'll see that they actually had issues going back to their home planet. So basically they ended up dying here on Earth, and thus the reason why they were buried. And of course, over time we found these skulls and we've realized now who they belong to. Because the Anunnaki seemed to be stuck here, they started to domesticate animals such as, and this was around 17,000 BC to 9,500 BC, give or take. So they domesticated dogs, sheep, goats, pigs, cattle with horns, as you can see there, and obviously hornless cattle as well. So they made their bed and they had to lie in it, so to speak. Here's a NASA guy trying to explain why there is no Nibiru.
If this object had come through the solar system in the past, and you remember the idea is it's on an orbit of 3,600 years. If it had come through in the past, its gravity would have messed up the orbits of the inner planets. The Earth, Venus, Mars, probably would have stripped the moon away completely.
Okay, so that's him, and this is me now saying there's a planet out there called Fomalhaut B, and it goes around its star every 2,000 years, and it doesn't push the planets out. We've been watching it, and the planets ain't flying off or anything. And who's to say that Nibiru didn't already push us off our orbits, etc.? Who's to say we're now not in an orbit that we was in before? Now, you got to remember there was the planet supposedly spins on its axis. Who's to say it wasn't Nibiru that caused that? You see, this is why I hate these people from NASA that try and debunk things when they're
To all governments around the world, we will all take the jab on one condition. All government people and billionaires that want everyone to have the just must comply with our terms. Remember, governments, you work for the people. We tried it your way, now you do it our way. You will be taken to a random vaccination station. You will have a random nurse, you will be given a random vial of vaccine. If you take the vaccine, we will put in place something to stop you going to a secret location or bunker before something happens. You will be just like us. If you refuse our terms, this will show the world the jabs you already had we fake, and there is a nefarious reason you are pushing so hard. This will void any laws, rules you have put in place. The police and military will ignore any COVID orders and will continue their normal business. All employees dismissed for not showing proof of jabs will be rehired. The whole world will delete the Passport NHS social scoring app. Life will go on, regardless of fake solar flares and fake laws. Your choice. Please share.